Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon or good evening or even good morning, depending upon where you are in the world at this given time. My name is Tony Lyford, your announcer for this event, a record capability tournament in Zachary, Louisiana, and the webcast that I'm producing for you right now is a test of various new elements that will be introduced, hopefully, to future webcasts. I'm sure that those fans amongst you saw the Swiss Pro Slalom webcast last weekend, and general consensus was that webcast was one of the better ones that had been produced in recent times. And certainly appreciate your feedback and negative or indeed positive, more so in this case than the previous webcasts. I'll own up to that right away. And I certainly thank you for that and your patience. And if you can spare a few more minutes, maybe an hour or so, we've got some more skiing to come. Round two of the action here at the Tri-Lakes for the record capability tournament. We normally have one or two of these a year. There we are hosting the South Central Regional Championships from the 29th through to the 31st of July. Just about a week or so away from the nationals that take place in Idaho this year. So we got a 3-day long event coming up in July, and hopefully a lot of the elements that I'm introducing in this webcast will surface for the webcast that will be done for the regional championships. So that being the case, we've got some skiing to come, and we will return in just a moment for round two. We'll take a little bit of a breather at this point, but round two is coming up in a moment, so stick around. All right, okay, folks, and never mind a few minutes. We're into round two right now. This is Matthew Greenwood, who comes to us out of Scott in Arkansas. And this is at 17 miles an hour. You will be seeing skiing with far quicker boat speeds and far shorter lines. This is on a long line, 17 miles an hour. As far as I recall, this is probably his first year of competitive action. Just trying to paddle his way through that particular pass, and it wasn't too long ago that I was announcing for Brittany and for Brittany Greenwood and also her brother skiing at about this level many years ago. So it's good to see that that Matthew is doing a fine job out there. So we're going to come back at 19.3 mile an hour. 19.3 mile an hour for Matthew Greenwood. All right, then. Here comes Matthew Greenwood. Long line. As long as it can go, actually, at 75 feet. Should, oh, wow, getting a little bit of zip across the back of the boat there. Wow. So and that was at 19 mile an hour, and last that I recall, he got 4 buoys at 21 mile an hour, and we'll probably see him maybe run through that pass this time around. He's certainly come out with a whole bunch of aggression, and we'll see if he's able to come back and produce a decent performance here. Okay, so we will be coming back at 21 mile an hour. there are some cheers down towards that end of the lake. Let's see what he's got. 21 mile an hour. Let's see if he can get this one to go. Not nearly as aggressive through the entrance gates as he is off the turns he makes on that side of the course, in the course itself. Oh, look at that. Oh, try to force that ski around, but look at this. He's round number 4. Can he make it outside 5 this time? Yes, now, can he make it round number 6? Oh, yeah, not bad at all. Good effort there from Matthew Greenwood. Looking at this pass again and looking very, very strong indeed. Matthew Greenwood out of Scott in Arkansas. And just look at that turn there, right there on, almost getting broken over at the wakes. Man alive. Man, that could have been a crash on the level of Freddie Winter if you saw that crash from the Swiss Pro Slalom this past week. You'll know exactly what I mean, of course. But doing a fine, fine job out there. And let's return to him back on the course. That was at 21, this is at 23. Let's see if he can attack this one. A little slow off number 1. Oh, and he completely and utterly goes out the front there. So, wow, that was a fall and a half. Let's have a look at this one again. So again, a faceful there into number 2. But it is going to be 1 buoy at 23 in this round. Boom. And that's probably worth looking back. Boom, right there. Okay, so that's Matthew Greenwood. Wow, some great skiing, I do have to say. That's no two ways about it there from that young man. And we'll see who is coming up next. If this list holds correct, then it's going to be Scott Greenwood. Okay, so for you good folks out there, we've got the Malibu towboat in play. For those. Okay, so this is Scott Greenwood. He's going to come in at 32 off. No time to lose here. Also from Scott in Arkansas, naturally. And this is going to be a 32 off start. So let's see what he's got for us. Okay, so let's have a look at Scott Greenwood. 32 off start. Fumbling a little bit with the handle to get off number one, but managing to get a clean grasp of the handle off number 3 and 4, 5, and should have no worries about getting round number 6. So there we go. That is Scott Greenwood. That is the opening pass. And this is that pass again. So when it all starts with the gate pull out, making sure that line is good and tight. And just trying to hold his elbows in for as long as he could with some good back arm pressure. Nice sustained hit off number 1 there for Scott Greenwood from Scott in Arkansas. Not doing too badly at all. Just an absolutely peach of a pass there. So that was at 32 off. That graphic will need to be changed from 32 to 35. So here we go. This is Scott Greenwood now. All right, here comes Scott Greenwood. Round number 1, hooks up well. Round number 2, this is 35 off. Means he needs to keep the water speed up and make sure that the ski's in front of him at the turn. Which he does so, and riding that D3 and making it look very, very easy indeed. So, excellent stuff for Scott Greenwood. Boat speed at 55k, 34 miles an hour. Good hook up off number 1, no two ways about it. Doing a fine, fine job there. Good grasp of the handle, keeping that back shoulder away. And that is Scott Greenwood. Good effort there. So, working our way to 38 off now for Scott Greenwood. All right, now, line is set. Scott Greenwood on the water. 38 off, let's see what he's got. Here we go. Entrance, number 1. Boom, hits that one. Needs to try and stay ahead of the game here. Nice. Takes a hit off number 3. Good to go off 4. Look it and go. Round 4 and 5. And there we go. And in as many skiers, we've seen improvement. Scott and Matthew Greenwood both conjuring up some pretty decent scores. Scott Greenwood, in fact, got 2.5 at 38 off in the previous round, so he's already on a pretty good upward trend of improvement there between rounds 1 and 2. So Scott Greenwood, but doing very, very well indeed. 39.5 off is going to come his way. All right, so Scott Greenwood sat down at the end of the course and now getting ready for the next line length. 39.5 off, 10.75 meters. All right, so here it comes. 39.5 off. Boat's still holding down that end for some reason. We'll see if he can get through 39. Conditions are a little ripple in the water, a little bit of breeze from left to right as he's coming down the course now. Let's see what he's got. Scott Greenwood. Round 1, round 2, looking and go. Round number 3, 39. Oh, and he stalls out around number 3. But a good effort nonetheless from Scott Greenwood as he works his way back to the dock. So that is Scott Greenwood. We'll have a look at this via our action replay. Just take a moment and watch this. Got broken over at number 2. But still had a decent number 3, but that sack line just paid the price for that, and unfortunately unable only to get 3. But it is a pass more than he did in the previous round, so good job for him. And we'll work our way to the next competitor. All right, so we've just seen Scott Greenwood. All right, so, and my good friend here, Mr. J. Bennett, doing a fine job with the tournament director, and has done, oh my word, how many tournaments? Hundreds. 40 years of it. Yes, indeed, it is 40 years. Okay, so, skier on the water. Not too sure who our skier is. I'll look down at our list and get that information. But I believe it's at 28 off. We'll get that confirmation shortly. If the list is correct, should be Mark Austin. Okay, so I believe he went in at believe he went in at 32 off. So he should be coming back right now at 35 off for the next run, if indeed that is the case. He's coming back at 35 off, confirmed on that particular pass. Let's have a look and see. Here he comes, 35 off. Mark Austin. Oh, gets the start that he needs. Didn't even get this far down course at 35 off in the round previous to this. Oh, and won't get past this pass this time around either. So Mark Austin, and a little bit of bother there with 35 off as the boat goes back towards the dock. Unfortunately, without Mark Austin, 40 feet of line directly behind him, as we'll take a look at the action replay once again for Mark Austin. Certainly looking not too bad on the face of it. But just getting completely strung out there on that particular run. So there we go. That was Mark Austin, and we'll go to our live pictures again. That is going to be, what is it, 5.5 at 35 off, 5.5 at 35. Bill Richards should be our next competitor. And for those of you tuning in, you are most certainly welcome. Okay, he'll be coming in, Bill Richard be coming in at 28 off on his opening run. Okay, 28 off. Coming in. And seems to have gotten a pretty good grip on that pass. That was at the opening run of 28 off. And there we go, Bill Richard on the opening pass of 28 off. And that line is going to be shortened down some from 28 to 32 off for the second run. We'll see how he gets along. Right, as we see the tail end of that pass, we go to live pictures, and we got 32 off coming up right about now. All right, so another 6 buoys, and that was at 32 off Fantastic effort once again for Bill Richard. Not too sure where he resides. And here we go. Good effort. All right then, folks, here we go. This is Bill Richard. Okay, he's got through 28 and 32. This is at 35 off now. Oh, taking it. Oh, whoa, whoa, man alive. That is about 9 out of 10 for the dismount. Okay, so let's have a look at this for the highlight reel. So Bill Richard, oh, look at that, taking the hit right from the get-go, and whoa. And just look at this once again from Bill Richard at 35 off. Boom, right there, faceful. And that is going to be one buoy at 35 off. But it is better than what he produced in round number one by a good few buoys. You know, about 4 buoys actually. So there we go. That is Bill Richard, and that's another YouTube-worthy video. So Bill Richard, obviously awarded Crash of the Day. And we'll take that graphic off at 35 off and wait for our next competitor, who should be Rob Fairley. If all right, so skier on the water now is Rob Fairley. So looks like a 32-mile-an-hour pass at 15. So a 6 buoy count there confirmed for Robert Fairley. We'll get the speed in a moment. and coming back in at 34 miles an hour for his next run. Okay, the sound of that Malibu response coming back into the course. Entrance gates around number 1, looking pretty strong, looking pretty decent. Oh, head over his skier just a little bit there. Not looking bad at all. Towards the end, a little ragged, but got most of the job done by about the first 2/3 of the course. And unfortunately, looks like it's a 0 count on the gate. And we're taking a look at it. It's probably a little hard to tell from here, but they certainly looks like they have a case. So Robert Fairley. So despite running that pass, getting a 0 gate on that particular effort, so that was at 34 mile an hour at 15 off, and unfortunately there for him, will not be able to ski on the next line length for 22 off. So there we go. That is Robert Fairley. So that, I believe, is 6 at 32.15. Well, that might actually have been at 22 off. I do beg your pardon. So 6 at 32 miles an hour, 22 off. Jane Greenwood is next. Lisa, based upon the previous round order, if they went the same again, then we should be seeing Jane Greenwood come into the course. Okay, line length is at 22. Skier Jane Greenwood of Scott, Arkansas. For those of you watching the webcast, you are indeed welcome. Thank you very much for tuning in wherever you happen to be in the world. And if you're watching this, tell others. Tell others that there is a record tournament being webcast for your viewing pleasure. All right, here we go. Jane Greenwood now. And 22 off, and it makes no difference which boat you ski behind, whether it's a Nautica, Mastercraft, or a Malibu, you're still going to get that 22 off hump. And that's why you see Jane Greenwood go airborne on some of those weight crossings. And we'll take a look at this. Jane Greenwood from Scott in Arkansas, 22 off. Has no problems at all running that. Okay, so as Jane Greenwood gets ready, the line gets set for 28 off, as you can see up there on the top left corner of the screen. That gives you the indication of what that line length is going to be, and it's going to be 28 off for Jane Greenwood. Here we go. Jane Greenwood. Oh, getting buffeted into number 2. Ow. And that proved to be too much of a distraction there for Jane Greenwood. On that pass of 28 off. We'll take a look at this once again and see where things started to go pear-shaped for her. So looks like 1.5 at 28 off, 1.5 at 28 off is going to be the score for Jane Greenwood. Down she goes, and unfortunately that score is going to be at 28 off. And we'll proceed on with the next competitor. All right, so next competitor should be Michael Woodgate. Michael Woodgate, our next competitor. And looks like we're taking a breather for the moment, or at least a technical timeout at the very least. Okay, folks, back on the water. This is Michael Woodgate. Okay, so that indeed was Michael Woodgate. So Michael Woodgate doing a pretty decent job out there. No worries at all. And he now goes to 32 off for the next run. All right, here comes Michael Woodgate. Oh, getting a little bit twisted off number 4, but managing to still reel that pass in. Getting it good to go. So that indeed was a 6 buoy count. He now goes up to 35 off. And yes, getting a little twisted off number 4, but managing to do everything that was necessary to round off that pass. And indeed, there we go. We got Michael Woodgate there. All right then, folks. Here comes Michael Woodgate. Oh, nicely done off that number 3. Takes the hit off number 4. Good to go round 5, and this is 35 off. He now has a chance at 38 off. 11.25 meters coming up next. So great skiing indeed there for Michael Woodgate. No two worries there for him. No two. So now working that line now from 35 off to 38 off next for Michael Woodgate. Coming to us out of Lincoln. But it's Lincoln in the United Kingdom, not Lincoln, Nebraska. 38 off. He'll be heading his way any moment now. Okay, so let's have a look and see what Michael Woodgate could do at 38 off. He needs pretty much the perfect start here in order to stand any chance of running this pass. Gets it on number 1. Round number... Oh, stalls on number 2. Gets round that number 3, and that is all she wrote there for Michael Woodgate on that particular run. We'll take a look at that one. Decent effort there from Michael Woodgate at 38 off, but it getting the stall on number 2, and unfortunately that put pay to any chance at all that he had of running that particular effort. So returning to live pictures, and we just seen Michael Woodgate there at 38 off. And it was actually an improvement upon round 1 by a good 5 buoys. It's going to be 1.5 at 38 off. Last round he scored 2.5 at 35. So decent level of improvement there from Michael Woodgate. Now, next competitor. Next should be Jonah Schaefer. Jonah Schaefer comes to us from Canada and is a skier for the University of Louisiana at Lafayette, Rachel Cajun Woodski teams. And he'll be coming in at 32 off start. So that graphic goes there. This graphic goes there. And skier is about to enter the course. So here we go. We have got Jonah Schaefer now. 32 off start. Nicely done. Round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And number 6 is a good-looking run there from Jonah Schaefer. And looked very much in control there, as you will see with this action replay. Starting with the gate pull out. So, looking good for the most part. So, started off at 32. The line length has now been changed from 32 to 35, or 12 meters, which they should be pretty apt to be able to convert from feet and inches to metric. Canada being well in tune with the metric system that they are. All right, and Jonah Schaefer. Entrance gates all the way through to the end. That was a great looking run there from Jonah. We'll take a look at the action replay so you can analyze this for yourself. All right, on good form. So Jonah Schaefer gotten through 35 off. Now 38 off starts to rear its head. 11.25 meters. First instance in which the rope does not reach the buoy. So he has to be committed to this one right from the get-go. So here we go, Jonah Schaefer. And looking good, though. Looking in good shape. Little bit stalled on number 4, but managing to get the ski whipped around on 5. And does enough to run the pass. You have to have a little bit of grit and determination to run a pass when you're a little bit behind. That's exactly what Jonas Schaefer just did. And once again, keeping that good tight line on the entrance gates proved to be critical for Jonas Schaefer, as he got the start necessary in order to continue on with this run. 39.5 off is going to be next for Jonas Schaefer. Little loose off number 4, but he did not let that worry him or put him into a panic. But wow, that ski looked like it was going down into that particular buoy. So we'll transition from here to the live shot. Boom, right that. So good to go, and 39.5 off is the next run. So let's see what kind of start he gets. Some of those mistakes that he pulled off to 38 off to run that pass, he cannot afford to replicate those. Otherwise, his pass at 39 is going to be very, very short-lived. Round number 1. Oh, man, a big old stack around number 2. Tried to go for the handle and get across course, but in doing so, left his ski way behind him. So we'll take a look at this once again for Jonas Schaefer. Gets the start at the entrance gates and certainly has a pretty good advance up on the boat, but around number 2, then it just went completely and utterly out of the window there around number 2. So there we go. That is a Jonas Schaefer. That was 39.5 off. And we'll get ready for our next competitor, who should be Freddie Winter. And he'll be coming in, I believe, on 12 meters or 35 off. That being the case, we'll wait for the judges to give us confirmation, but I figure that he's going to go in at 12, unless he sees something out there with the wind conditions that would preclude him from going in on 12 meters. 12 into the wind, 11 tail, 10 into the wind, 10.25 with the wind. It's doable. Okay, so he's actually going to go in at 32 off this time around. So 32 off. So, and at 32 off start. Of course, given that he went in at 32 off, he could, if he really wanted to, come back at 38 off. So Freddie Winter, who comes to us from the London Borough of Wandsworth, now working away from 32 to 35. So let's have a look at Freddie Winter. He should be coming back at 35 off, although it wouldn't surprise me at all if he decided to come back at 38 to take advantage of the of where the wind is blowing. It is a little bit up and down. Sometimes there's a little bit of a brief gust, and then it just settles right back down. So here we go. This is Freddie Winter, and this is 35 off. Let's see if he can get this one good to go. Entrance 1 and 2. Boom, hits that one. Looking in very, very, very good shape indeed. On the money there with that pass, and that was indeed a pass of 35 off. Nothing being broadcasted by the officials to suggest otherwise. So that is Freddie Winter. That was at 35 off, and now we're getting ready for 11.25 meters. Okay, so 38 off. Coming up right now, Freddie Winter. Now, let's see what he's got. It's going to be a 38 off pass into the wind. It's going to be 39 with, and then 10.25, a 41 into the wind. So he's looking to try and put himself in a position where he can run 41 off into the wind. Although I've actually seen him was the defending champion coming into that event this year. And certainly the brightest talents that we've seen in men's slalom skiing to come through in a long, long time. That is Freddie Winter, and doing exceptionally well with that particular pass. Making his approach. Just a straight pull out and almost turning in, simulating what his 2-4-6 side turn is going to be. He is right foot forward, which means that his best side turn is pretty decent advantage in that regard. So there we go. That is Freddie Winter. And then it's just basically going to be pot luck so far as 9.75 meters or 43 off if he gets that far. Let's see if he does, though. Let's have a look and see. Here comes Freddie Winter. Entrance gate number 1. Good extension on 10.75. Round. He absolutely strokes that pass. Whoa! Ho ho! Does he make it through the exit gates? I almost preempted him a little bit there. So looking good, looking strong, good extension round number. To be able to get that ski and basically stopped in time to get that ski stopped enough to be able to go through the exit gates and actually get the 6 buoy credit on that pass in order to continue. That said, Freddie Winter, what am I talking about? Freddie Kruger. Freddie Kruger is a world jump record holder, of course, and he is this place here at Tri Lakes is his old stomping ground, of course. But this is the other Freddie Winter. This is 41 off. He set this strategy to have the wind in his face on this particular pass. Let's see if he can get through this pass. Let's see if he's got the measure of these conditions here. This is your announcer, Tony Lightfoot. And this is Freddie Winter coming into the course at 41 off, 10.25 meters. He's already run this once. Oh, getting a really, really hard stop there on whoa, and that ski almost going downwards into number 6, but he manages to pull it out. unique way of just being able to stay on track, stay on the ski, and keep that ski going forward. It's like that old quote from the Rocky movies. It doesn't matter how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you get hit and still keep on going. And that's exactly the case with Freddie Winter. You see, that hit off number 5, went airborne into number 6. Wow, that is some slalom skiing, folks. No two ways about it. That is Freddie Winter. And now we're to this. Once again, the last graphic that I can put up to indicate a line length. 40 feet, that, oh, I'm not too sure how many times, but it must be about a dozen by now. And he's done that here, and he's also done that at Swiss. He's done that in a couple of other places, so on and so forth. I won't even list the amount of times he's performed one at 9.75. But let's see, out of, just for something a little bit different, let's see if he could get round number 2 this time. Round number 1, boom. Oh, look at that, round number 1. Oh, and he's inside number 2 again. And there we go, Freddie Winter. And I tell you what, he just seems to have hit a wall there with 9.75 meters. Let's not diminish the fact that it's hard enough to get there for starters. I mean, he got through 10.25 meters, and that was hard enough to get through on its own. But then round number 1 gets hit right off the bat, and he's just inside, and you could just see the frustration there in his face. I'm sure he'll take that any day of the week, and if it was a pro tournament, he would actually be stoked. But he's here with the opportunity. He's skiing behind his own boat. He's beautiful conditions here at Tri-Lakes, and he's got one more round to go, and he could well do it in the next 3 off. 1 at 43 off, 9.75 meters. Impressive. All right then, next competitor up is going to be Doug Rogerson. So it looks like the boat is docking right now. I suspect that the reason why they introduced the Mastercraft at that stage in round 2 is so that Freddie gets an opportunity to maybe post a record-worthy score behind the boat company that sponsors him. Certainly doesn't surprise me. But looks like we'll be changing boats, some officials maybe, and then we will continue on. In that vein, I'll put this graphic up, and I will be talking back to you in just a few moments. So sit tight. Round 2 of the Bennett spring record tournament, being webcast by the Waterski Broadcasting Company, and we will be back in just a few minutes. So do not go away. Okay, folks, welcome back. Our next, my name is Tony Leifert, your announcer. There's my email address. Feel free to contact me and let me know your thoughts about this webcast. This webcast is actually more as part of some beta testing that I'm carrying out, and so don't expect it to be perfect. And we've got Doug Rogerson, 32 miles an hour, 22 off. Looking pretty strong out there, not bad at all. Round 1, round 2, 3, and 4. Good to go. And there we go. That is Doug Rogerson. He just went through the opening pass of 22 off. And we'll take a look at that again. That was at 22 off, but at the sub-maximum speed of 32 miles an hour. All right, then. So we're still at 22 off, but the boat speed, instead of being 32 miles an hour next, is actually going to be at 34 miles an hour. It's going to be maximum 34 miles an hour. Let's have a look and see. Nicely done. It's looking pretty smooth. Nothing too abrupt with the turns. That's how it should be at 22 off. Little bit cranked over with number 5 and just managing to shut it down just in time to make it through the exit gate. And as normal, we'll have a look at it via our action replay. Very, very strong indeed. Just trying to keep his hips forward, just trying to keep the lower half of his body and ahead and over his feet. Yep, through the exit gates, it looks like, for Doug Rogerson. All right, so Doug Rogerson now moves from 22, I believe, to 28 off coming up next. That is 14.25 meters. Here comes 28 off for Doug Rogerson. There he is, just trying to massage his way through this pass. I believe he got to 32 off the last time. Looks like he's going to get there this time as well. So there we go. That is Doug Rogerson. Once again, we'll have a look at this run for your entertainment. A good, strong pullout necessary in all passes, and this one no exception for Doug Rogerson. Taken a bit of a hit, though, off number 1, which didn't exactly help him settle down into the pass. But by the time he got to the latter 2/3 of the run, he already had enough in hand to run it. All he just needed to do was to ski with a smart head on his shoulders and not get ahead of himself too much. And we see the tail end of the replay. We go back to live pictures. And from 28 off, we go to 32. All right, here comes Doug Rogerson. Let's have a look and see. This now is 32 off. Let's see what kind of start he gets. Little on the back of the ski, which won't help it get wide on number one. Let's see if he... Oh, and it'll only ensure that he gets as wide and as far down as number two. But he'll be smiling all the way from here to the dock, though. You know, rain or shine, pass or fail. He's just one of those guys that's just grateful for the opportunity to go out there on the water. But let's have a look at this replay from Doug Rogerson. Gets a start, but just pulling in and on the back foot, and nothing doing there for Doug Rogerson as he skis back towards the dock. 32 off is gone, and so is he. So now our next competitor coming up. Next competitor coming up is going to be Robert Howerton, who scored 5 buoys at 28 off. Okay, so this is Robert Howerton at 32.22. Same pass, same line length, same speed as Doug Rogerson, I believe. Might even be a little bit quicker, judging by the speed. Okay, so that is Robert Howerton. We're going to take a look at him again on the opening pass. So Robert Howerton it is. Out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. That was at 22 off. We'll get the confirmation on the next line length or speed, or even both. So, we're about halfway down the list on round 2. We've still got one more round to come, so so hold on to your hats, folks. We are our third and last round. For those of you watching online, there's a separate player for that as well. So as we get down to the end, just know that once this webcast terminates for round 2, we'll do it all over again for round 3. So you will not be missing a thing from here on out. We'll try and get radio communique wherever the radio is. There it is. And it is 28 off. 28 off for Robert Howerton. Let's have a look and see. Entrance 1. Good snap of the line. Little broken over into number 3, but manages to still stay on top of his ski. Now, let's see if he could get through this pass. Indeed, he has. He'll have a crack at 32 off next. By contrast, in the last round, he got round number 5 and didn't get much going for him on number 6. But here he is on the action replay again. Slow it down to 1/2 speed so you can get a pretty good idea of where he's at. Little stalled on number 3, and on the back of the ski, and just at this point, just hanging on for dear life, I would imagine. But he's still got some fight in him. And gets round that one. All right, so looking strong, looking all right, and 32 off is going to be the pass for him. Okay, green and yellow. That's where the line is fixed on the pole right now, and it is going to be 32 off. 30 meters for those of you metrically inclined. Here comes Robert Howerton. Here he comes. Oh, stalled on number 3. Does he even get outside number 4? Does he even attempt an S-turn? Neither one comes around, but he did okay up to that point. So we'll have a look at Robert Howerton again. We are action replay. All starts with the gate pull out. Keeping the flow going. We'll speed this up a little bit. And it really didn't help that he got an atrocious number 1, and he was basically fighting, and by the time he got to that point, it was all curtains there for Robert Howerton. So he's skiing back to the dock. Okay. So we'll return to the live pictures. And our next skier scheduled to take to the water. Should be Anna Kovalenko. And she scored 4 at 35 in the previous round to this. So we are going to see what she does here and now. She started in at, what was it, 28 off in the round previous to this. Oh, actually, it's Mariah Fields coming up next. So actually on the water at this time is going to be Mariah Fields. It's going to be 34 miles an hour, 15, and out of McQueenie, Texas. Here she comes. Student, freshman, finished up her first year of school at the University of Alabama. And there you go. Looking pretty decent. So we'll have a look at Mariah Fields. on that opening pass. Speed this up a little bit. So Mariah, with that opening pass under her belt, looks forward to the next line length. What is that line length, I hear you ask? It's that one. 22 off, 16 meters. All right then, so let's see how she gets along. Oh, takes a big head dip on number one. Trying to hold that ski in the water at 22 off is a pretty tough proposition, because that's where the rooster tail happens to come up, and it's the same with any boat. Nautique, Malibu, Mastercraft, it's there on all of them. The 22 off bump. So let's have a look and see how well Mariah worked her way through this pass. Looked pretty decent. Just trying to rope it a little bit. Looked okay for the most part. Round number 6. All right, and now the next run is going to be 28 off for Mariah. My YouTube channel, youtube.com/waterski broadcasting. All right then, folks. Let's continue on. Mariah Fields. This is at 28 off. Let's see if she can use a quite considerable strength to make her way through this pass. 28 off. Getting a huge buffet there off number 3. And that was Mariah Fields. Didn't get to see too much of the end portion of that one because of an obstruction. But we'll have a look at it nonetheless. This was 28 off. Yeah, looks like her shoulder started to rotate in on her into number 1, and just not getting much in the way of direction across course as a result. And then she was just at that point getting totally strung out towards the end. So there we go. That was Mariah Fields. So still a lot of good skiing to come. We're about halfway down this list in round 2. So, who is coming up next? It should be Anna Kovalenko. Skier coming to us out of Russia. Thank you. Some more. Okay, so we are continuing on with the event. Anna Kovalenko should be next. Oh. Yeah, it's going good. Going real good. Okay, folks, this is Anna Kovalenko, skier out of Russia, but a collegiate skier having just completed her first semester of studies at the University of Louisiana at Lafayette. Not looking bad. Pretty good opening pass by the looks of things. So feast your eyes on this and take a look at the replay. So that was Anna Kovalenko. And the line length is going to be now 32 off. All right, so here we go. Okay, here we go. All right, so Anna doing a very, very good job indeed, making her way all the way through that particular run. We'll take a look at it one more time before we proceed on to the next pass, which should be 35 off if everything is all well and good. All right then, here we go. Anna Kovalenko, 28.32, and now the pass 30. So not looking bad at all there, Anna Kovalenko. And we are going to have a look at this pass once again from start to finish. Handle up a little bit high on number one. That much has to be said. Little air ball to stay. And before we proceed on with our next competitor, who should be Danielle Bennett, Anna Kovalenko, who skied 4 at 35 off in the previous round, so she shouldn't be too disappointed with this effort. But one wonders how much further she could have gotten if she'd had the better start here. Okay, so here comes Danielle Bennett. Off, we'll have a look. So for those of you watching, I know that the webcast is buffering a little bit, probably due a little bit in part to the internet connection that we've got here, and maybe in some part it's due to the actual streaming settings that I'm currently using, trying to improve the quality of the image. But that much of a signal down. Have a look at this one again. Let's take a look at Danielle Bennett, 35 off. Let's see if she is up for it. Big hit off that number 1. Trying to rock that number 3. Oh, taking a huge hit off that number 4. And just couldn't control it enough to even attempt a turn into number 5. Just got rocked onto the back and just couldn't really recover too well. We're going to take a look at that via our action replay again. Didn't look too bad. Counter-rotated enough coming off number 2 into 3 and held her angle well into number 4. But this is where it all started to go pear-shaped. Rocked on the back of the ski, took the hit, lost the angle, and lost the pass as a process in the process. So there we go. That's Danielle Bennett. That 4 at 35 off for Danielle Bennett. And now our next competitor is going to be Jonathan Sharman. All right. Okay, may not be Jonathan after all. Looks like we got Bailey Austin. Here we go, Bailey Austin, 28 off. And all the way down. So, looking. All right then, folks. Okay, as I mentioned before on a number of occasions, and as is hinted in the description for the playlist on the YouTube channel, the Waterski Broadcasting YouTube channel, that this webcast is also a beta test as well of the various components and the various elements that go into producing a webcast. So certainly not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. Here comes Bailey Austin. Looking good for the most part. This is at 32 off. Just trying to maintain some good angle across. Oh, getting buffeted into number 5, into 6. And that pass. Wow. That was... that pass was less than perfect. Let's point it mildly. But that was Bailey Austin. And that was at 32 off, if you look at the caption at the top right there. All right then, so Bailey Austin. All right, let's see what she could do. Now that she's gotten a 32 off out of the way in the back of her mind, it now comes down to 35 off. Let's have a look and see what she's got at 35. Keeping the flow going at 35 off. She can make a few mistakes, but not too many. Round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and jolting her way through that pass. Get into all kinds of trouble at the first third of the course, but able just to knuckle down and just realize that pass wasn't going to be perfect. She just had to get round buoy number 6 to run it. So there we go. That was Bailey Austin. Just trying to keep the ski out ahead of her the best that she could. And for the most part, she succeeded. So now, instead of being 35 off the line, we now go to 38 off. 11.25 meters. And as you could see in the replay there, 35 off, just jumping all over the back of the ski on number 4 and really taking a big old bite off number 5 just to get that ski wide enough to make it round number 6, which she did. Now, she can't afford to make those kinds of mistakes or that kind of mistakes in that kind of frequency and still end up running the pass. She has got to clean this up. And it all starts with the entrance gates into buoy number 1. So let's have a look at Bailey Austin. 38 off, 11.25 meters. Let's see what she has in store. Entrance gate, number 1. Oh, and pops the fin. And there was absolutely nothing that she could do as the boat makes its way back to the dock, with Bailey Austin not behind it. And we'll take a look at this via our action replay. That gate shot. She may look back upon this and see if there was anything that she could do to improve it. Just bringing the ski round and just trying to slide it, and unfortunately that just does not go. So Bailey Austin, that was at 38 off, and that unfortunately is going to be half a buoy for her, half a buoy for Bailey Austin. So I hope you're enjoying the webcast coverage. If it is a little bit, if the webcast coverage coming to you is a little bit buffeted and you're having trouble watching it, then don't worry. I've actually recorded this webcast in its entirety, graphics, commentary, the whole bit included, and I can re-upload it onto the same playlist so you can watch it without too many undue distractions or interruptions. So. Alyssa Shevkanova from Russia coming in at 28 off for the opening pass. Here she comes. This year in 2016, and that is Lisa Shevkanova. And we will take a look at this pass. Managing that handle very, very well off number 1 and maintaining some good body posture. But this is 28. Here comes Lisa Shevkanova. All right, so 2 passes in the bag, and that 32 off pass actually looked just a smidge bit better than the opening pass at 28. So she's got that working for her. Round number 4, looking to attack 5. Get round that number 6. Oh, and really pummeling that pass. And certainly made that pass look harder than it should have been run. Yes, indeed. 35 off. And we'll now go to 38 off 11.25 meters. Round previous to this, 1.5 buoys. It's going to be a free. Lisa Shevkanova. Managing to get round that number 3 little by little. Taking the hit around about. Ooh. Almost completely buckling over, but there you go. That is Alicia Shevkanova. That. Okay, so one of those skiers I just mentioned, Kate Adrianson. She was coming back. Coming in at 32 off. Kate Adrianson. Firmly fixing that handle to her hip as part of her prep to get a decent gate shot into number 1. Gets the ski out ahead. Oh, nicely done. Nicely done. Very good. So that's Kate Adrianson. Entrance round number 1. Looking good round number 2. Keeping the flow going. Round number 3. Excellent execution into number 4. Nicely done round 5 and 6. And pulling out to shorten. Still displaying some of that aggression at the end of the pass. So let's have a look at this one again, and this is going to be 35 off for Kate Adrianson. So looking very, very strong with that particular effort. All right, so here we go. This is Kate Adrianson. So she went in at 32. This is at 38 off. Oh, and going down. And going down pretty hard by all accounts. So it looks like it's going to be 2.5 buoys confirmed there for Kate Adrianson. It's a decent effort, but I think that she wanted a little bit. So continuing on here at Lake 2 at Tri-Lakes. This is the main slalom lake, and it's one used in all the tournaments that's held here. Whether that tournament's a simple record capability tournament that we typically run here during the month of April, or a 3-day tournament such as of skiing to come at this here venue. Season we celebrate for the moment, so this will give All right then, folks. Almost overloading off number 2, but managing to still stay in the game and just trimming it down a little bit towards the end of the pass, and knew that that he left unchecked. His power could get the better of him, and Chad Scott getting through that pass. That was at 35 off, and we'll take a look at that pass once again using our action replay. Let's take a look at that again. Pretty decent reach and extension, not really exerting himself too much as yet. And there Chad Scott doing a fine job with that pass. And now he gets ready for 38 off. So here we go. We have got Chad Scott. He's got 38 off. Now, the round previous to this, he got 1.5 at 41, which means he was able to, well, run this pass, then run the pass after that, and then get 1.5 there. So basically, he's about 13 and a half buoys behind where he was in round number 1. Let's see what he can do in round number 2. Here comes Chad Scott. Looking good. All right, so Chad Scott seems to have a pretty good handle on that. And as with a lot of passes of that high echelon, it all starts with the gate shot, as you can see. Good pull out, good tight line. 38 off. Little bit of a shoulder dip off number 1, but keeping his composure into number 2. And as you can see, Chad Scott, years of experience at this, knows his way around 38 off. And now that line is going to be shortened down to 39 and a half. And there he is, 39 and a half off coming up. All right, here we go. Let's have a look and see what Chad Scott can do. 39 and a half off. Round 1. Oh, no, and he goes down, and he goes down early and in a heap. So Chad Scott, let's have a look at this, because I seem to have detected a little bit of a glitch there coming into his gate shot. Pulls out, and it appears to be pretty good, but then just loses his whip coming into number 1, and just was unable to continue on with that particular run. So that is Chad Scott, and that is a rather early and abrupt end to his effort out there. So that is Chad Scott. And he will not be going on to 41 off in this round. So it looks like it is going to be half a buoy at 39. And to conclude round two, our last skier should be Jay Leach. In on the round previous to this. And scored into 41 off. It scored half a buoy. One. So Jay Leach. And that was at 35 off. Doing a pretty good job on that one. Pretty impressive pass to going on. Even Freddie Winter went in at 32 off to start his run. But and Freddie, no stranger to going in at 35. So something out there Jay Leach has seen. Have a look in the fullness of time. This is 38 off. Whips the ski hard around. Oh, no. Oh, it gets buffeted off number 3. And a huge, huge mistake. And he is down. He's still being towed by the boat towards the dock. But for all intents and purposes, out of the picture at 38 off. And Jay Leach taking a big risk to start in at 35. And he got through the pass, but really it didn't help him in the long run. So Jay Leach, 38 off, going back to the dock, and that will conclude the second round of skiing. So for those of you that are continuing to watch the webcast, we will be transferring the webcast onto the